I think if we looked at what is happening here at Harbor in the past year, we've had roughly 70 baptisms. We just had a big baptism celebration last weekend where 22 people confess their faith in Christ through baptism. And we look at our growth then marginally, and we consider those two together. And I would say right now we're experiencing probably a 40% rate of growth by evangelism or people coming to faith in Christ. I think what really stuck out to me this time during one of our baptism celebrations was people who are sharing their stories. It's a big part of those events where people share their stories as far as why they're confessing their faith in Christ publicly in this way. And people at this baptism celebration pointing to people at the last one or one before that who were baptized, who played an instrumental role in them coming to faith in Christ. And so we're seeing this sort of generational conversion of a couple of years ago, a young man coming to faith in Christ, leading now another young man to faith in Christ or playing a role in his life. And so I think that embodies the way that we do it here at Harbor. We place a high esteem on relationships, on life outside of Harbor and this community, on what we're doing in our homes, what we're doing in our work, what we're doing in our neighborhoods, in our communities, and the relationships that are happening there. And through that, people are engaging here in this community. They're engaging with the gospel in meaningful ways, and they're responding. And so that continues to be our strategy in terms of how we're reaching people.
Our dream would to have 10, 20, 30 gospel communities of 6 to 16 people who are purposefully asking, who is Jesus sending us to? Is it this block? Is it this neighborhood? Is it this school? Is it immigrant families? Is it parents of autistic children? Who is he sending us to? And how can we be a blessing, represent Jesus, bring the gospel of grace to that people group as a small community? And seeing communities rallying, not merely as if it's a little thing, around soul care and word and prayer, but also outward facing to say, how can we bless the people that Jesus has sent us to, has been fruitful. And then it becomes impossible to sum up because there's so many different things that are happening. So the big strategic approach that we're taking as 7 Mile Road is that rather than growing big in a specific location and having a larger, regionally attractive church, our hope is to multiply not only smaller communities, but actually Sunday churches, congregations, missions.
We didn't see results the first year. And to be honest with you, it was very discouraging. And then all of a sudden, a year later, you start hearing powerful testimonies of people coming through the doors. And it's like, I've been wanting to come here for over a year from the day my kids received free shoes from your church. Or you guys sponsored my kid during Christmas time. And it was the most challenging season of our lives. And no one was there for us with our family, but total strangers from your church were. We've been wanting to come. And all of a sudden, 2 years later, you start hearing all those stories. And some of those families are now actively engaged, becoming members, getting baptized, serving wholeheartedly, and now being the hands and feet of Jesus out into the community in which we bless them 2 years ago. They, in turn, now are being a blessing.